Cool, thank you everybody. Thank you for joining. So this is a sponsored presentation between Juniper and Axians. So thank you very much Axians for asking me to speak today. Let's see if I can work a clicker. Excellent. So we're just talking about Paragon Active Assurance. So who am I and why am I here? So for those who don't know me in the room, I've been operating UK networks since 2008 and I joined Juniper in 2021. So here's some blurb about me. So sort of why am I doing this? Why am I talking about Paragon Active Assurance? So PAA, as its short name, aligns with my personal mission statement in the respect of giving customers the best experience on the network. And fortunately, that quite nicely aligns with Juniper's mission. You can see the statement there from Rami about getting the network out the way. And what that simply means is it's trying to free the operator community up to do what the operators do best and not having to deal with the customer end niggles, basically. So, apologies. So, Paragon Active Assurance, what is it? So, it helps, guys, say, get the network out of the way. So, starting at the beginning of how to use Paragon, what it can do is it can allow you to create a birth certificate for any services that you provide to your end customers. In that sort of certificate of description, it will allow you to give a guarantee to the customer that their service will be working first time. So there's something out of the gate for you to go back to and validate against any potential calls and service calls that come in. So with that benchmarking, like I say, if the customer calls in and says that some part of the system doesn't work or some part of the solution's not there, at least you can then rerun PAA against that and actually work out which of the many SLAs that you've provisioned aren't working and then dive into that rather than, oh, I need to send a truck out. So we'll get a bit more into that later. So the reason why this is so important is, as we know from as the operators, a lot of, again, I haven't verified this stat, this is from our marketing team, I must admit, a lot of the issues come from the customers. Your monitoring system will say X device is green, X service is working, but the customer experience may be terrible. So this solution allows you to actually simulate that as best as possible, subject to a certain point. That might just be to the PE, or if the actual end device has some TWAMP or RPM probability, we can poll against that and then bring it back again. So to take it from there. And the reason why this is quite important is classic monitoring systems as they are today, several have advanced, I may not be fully up to speed, but several classic monitoring systems tend to go from your central DC of choice and then go all the way out to the system that you're monitoring and come back again. PAA changes that a little bit. Yes, you can still have the traditional central monolithic or gateway style, but you can also go between your agents, and we'll see a bit more of that in the coming slides. So what's the current state of monitoring essentially, and what problem is PAA trying to solve? Well, as we were sort of saying that a lot of the current systems show green light across the service, but there's a problem with the customer's solution. It's not working as they want. So simple pings and SNMP responses aren't going to capture the customer experience as a whole. And so as a result, your operations teams are spending a lot of time in trying to fix the service, not actually working on the network, provisioning new stuff, or building the new national network that you're trying to achieve. So what I've noticed over my years of operating is more and more configuration changes are happening as well. So not only like provisioning these services on a frequency, but you're also making changes to your services, your central systems, etc. And depending on your rigor, there may be some post-maintenance checks, but they may just be listed. Oh, sorry, the slide didn't change. There we go. So apologies. So as you may be making changes, and your system may be just doing the basic checks. Is it green? Is it orange? Is it red? So again, this is where Paragon Active Assurance can step in, and it can be rerun against the core. It can be rerun against the service. It can be rerun against the central system to agent, and we'll have a quick look at that in a minute. And the main reason for that is there's so many touch points now going on within most network operator changes. It's not just the core stays static and then the edge gets changed. A lot of changes go throughout. So PA with its simulacrum can find which hop is the problem. So kind of what does it roughly look like? There's obviously more detailed slides available. So how is it going to help you solve this problem? So it'll help you solve the problem by identifying problems within the network and see the current state end-to-end as a quality measure. So as mentioned in the previous slides, we talk about the validation and a birth certificate, which can be rerun again against the particular solution, and again against post-maintenance. It can give you a proper all clear and speed up your mean time to repair. As I said before, most of that is done by 2-amp, echo replies, or RPM probes. So the real slide. What does it look like? Why is this more important? So we're saying, as you can see, we have a few devices on here. So we've got an IoT car factory, end users, and a variety of different mediums for that to be connected, Wi-Fi, 5G, lease circuit, etc. So what we do is we've got the agents out there, and the agents can run a dedicated loop test. So that's obviously from your edge of description to your client and back again. Or we can run it between the agents. So it's not overly shown on here. Is this pointer? So you can run it between the agents. So take, for example, the machine there. That machine could do a loop test against the private cloud. It could do a loop test against the 4G, 5G machine, or it could go up to the 5G mast because it needs to communicate with it in some way. So as I was saying before, where the classic goes from central out and it's always one particular source and destination as a result, this allows you to actually test east-west rather than just north-south, basically. So we also then wrap this up with our partnership with the Atom. So what a Atom allows you to do with all of this is, while Paragon will give you or will work to a golden config, if that's the terms you wish to use, or your main state you want to use, a Atom can then come back and push. So if it detects any changes, it will re-push the golden config essentially. So you can constantly keep in top of any ad hoc changes, malicious changes, or just a general fumble, as we have all been known to do at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're trying to do a break fix and accidentally change the wrong line of config. So where does Paragon Active Assurance live within the ecosystem? So Paragon within Juniper is now quite a large piece of software. So we have Paragon Pathfinder, formerly Northstar, Paragon Planner, formerly the other part of Northstar, and Atom, our partnership. Active Assurance came out of our NetRounds acquisition, and Insights is our former HealthBot solution. So that's sort of where it sits. And most importantly, following Juniper's Opera's memorandi, API first. So everything that you would be able to do through UI is achievable. There we go, sorry, put a neuter in there. Everything is achievable with an API. And that also includes the way we go across our stacks at the minute. At the minute, Active Assurance is still a standalone unit, but will eventually come into the wider Paragon suite. And that's Paragon Active Assurance in a short thing. You will notice in the Maze slides that I've left in the PDF, there's some additional appendix stuff, so more than what I've left here on the screen. So please feel free to download it, look at it, and please feel free to ask Axians or myself over lunch or whenever you get hold of us to find out what's going on. Any questions?
No. Any questions in the room? No. Any questions online? No, I'm just wait a minute for the online to
Yeah.
But thank you, it's a very interesting talk. I'll ask a question perhaps while we're waiting for the online stuff.
Oh, go on.
Did I miss something, or maybe it was, I'm not sure if I missed it or it just wasn't said. Is any of this based on any open standards?
Yeah, so we will use TWAMP, RPM probes, and Echo, ICMP Echo. Yeah. So as from that perspective, yes, it is a Juniper product, but it will work with any system that supports those particular standards. Yeah. So if you've got a CPE that supports TWAMP, I always mispronounce that, then yeah, you can ping it against that, because a lot of things, if it's a residential network, it's probably, maybe it's more important for the customer service or a B2B if you've got a CPE.
Yeah, so. Cool, that's good to know. Anything coming online? No?
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Yeah,
thank you, Axians.
Thank you very much.